Hello and welcome to So Much Game with another episode of Words That Make Worlds. I'm Lewis, Gen2K, of So Much Game, and with me tonight is the wonderful Laura, GeneralMcMill, who you may know from $2 Creature Feature. And if you don't, go listen to $2 Creature Feature and anything else.
Thank you. Well, I don't know what to say left about myself now. Laura, sometimes General McMill on social medias things. And I am currently in the season three of Two Log Creature Feature. I am playing Janine Kellogg, who is a an out of work stunt woman turned sort of supernatural secret agent. And she's the most normal one in the group. So let that be a
Really
tiny preview.
trying to hold the whole group together.
She's really trying. It's not working. It's nope, nope,
Oh,
nope. I mean, honestly, the glue that holds the group together is her dog, probably.
yeah, yeah, maybe like
Hmm.
the current bit that I'm on, obviously, because that's the bit that is out at the time of this recording, is spoilers. You're all on a movie set. And
Yes,
there is a distinct lack of dog, which might be why things are going awry.
I think it is. It probably is exactly why things are going awry. Yeah, yeah. Um. Yes, I believe we establish this is not really a spoiler. I believe we establish a little bit later that Gator is in a sort of on set um doggy daycare
Ah,
situation while these events are happening. Um but yeah, we're not used to having sort of a party pet, so we keep kind of going, or at least I keep kind of going like, oh shit,
where's Gator?
where's the dog? Now I have to think about why the dog has not been with us through these last several things that have happened, and where is he, and how can we reunite him? So,
I
it's
mean,
an
it
adjustment.
doesn't feel that surprising that Gator might have their own things going on and just,
Yes, yes. Gator definitely has some
very
things going
clever.
on that Janine has not figured out yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I think tonight we're going to do a little spot of world building, for which you have thought up a suitable theme. I'm really, yeah,
So, yeah.
really putting all the pressure on you. Makes for a
Yeah,
very easy show for me. It's just like, here's a guest.
yeah, yeah,
They're going to
yeah,
do
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, listeners, for the last several days, Lewis and I are going back and forth in Discord, going like,
Yeah.
we could do this thing, or whatever you want, and then the other says, or we could do this other thing, whatever you want. Um,
Yeah.
so we decided, I think not only after we joined today, but after Lewis already hit record. So really keeping it till to absolute the last second. Um, but
I mean,
yeah, I
sometimes
think
those are the best things.
as it will be today.
It's the
I have
last
no
minute
doubt.
parties that you didn't really want to go to that end up being the best parties. In this case, I mean, I hope you
Time.
wanted to turn up. Sometimes, yeah.
The worst parties I've ever been to.
Yeah, but
Sometimes
I
they're fantastic.
actively
You're right.
try and forget those ones.
That's true. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. In our memories, those are the best parties
Yeah.
that we've ever been to. Yeah. Right.
So we hope people in the future will have fond memories of this episode.
Exactly. Yes. Um,
Do you do a
yeah,
lot of world building?
I don't. I really don't, because I I'm almost exclusively a player. Um, so I participate in, and I I mostly play Monster of the Week, which is what Two Lot Creature Feature is, and Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Um, and I love playing other games. Any chance I get, I like learning. I like learning new games. I like seeing how
Yeah.
different mechanics work and the different kind of worlds that different systems kind of prod you towards. Um, but yeah, I've really done very little myself, except in that kind of collaborative way of like you say a thing as a player and now it's true of the world. Um, but I'm actually uh let's see, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I am going to be running Monster of the Week for the
Ooh.
first time ever. Um, and I'm doing it slightly on easy mode by running a mystery out of the Codex of Worlds book.
Oh, cool.
Because I am running it for my longtime sort of local D&D group, none of whom have ever played Monster of the Week or any other Powered by the Apocalypse game before. So I figured new game for them and jamming for the first time and trying to invent the story myself was going to be a little like one thing too much.
Yeah.
Um but I am also thinking about I'm trying to figure out now over the next 48 hours how to make that story mine a little bit and how to play into who those characters are and what I can add to that adventure in that world that will play into them, including there's a member of the party who is a divine, which is one of the Monster of the Week
Oh,
playbooks,
yeah.
who just poofed down from the sky in front of all the other players and announced that one of them had prayed for her to come, and they all said, nope, don't think we have,
Oops.
actually, and
Wrong person.
um but she's there and she has a big flaming sword and her name is Spatula. So I've got to figure out now how to work
Yep.
that into
I mean,
what's going on here.
hopefully you'll be able to use this as a good warm up then.
That's what yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But yes, so very much looking forward to that. I will say this is not. I'll make another plug for a game that we're not playing today. Um, but there is a game called The Quiet Year that folks may have. It seems like it's kind of been it's gotten some buzz.
Yeah.
Um, that's a really great sort of introduction to collaborative world building, I think. It really sort of leads you through it, and the whole thing is building a world. And you're not really playing individual characters per se, you're playing the community.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a card drawing game, and it kind of gives you questions and prompts about so some of it is about things that happen in the world, and some of it is just about like ways that the community or the world are. Um, and I found that like a really great
Hmm.
sort of gentle introduction
Yeah.
to world building. And here are some things you might want to think about to start making this world interesting.
It is a very nice system. And it's a fun game to play in a group as well.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
I do actually hope to do that on this at some point in the future. So
Yeah, yeah, I think you should.
yeah,
Um,
to gather forth a party for such deeds. Um, but right now, the focus is entirely on you. So,
Okay.
what would you like to do this evening?
So, I think we have settled on we were talking about this a little bit before recording.
Yes,
We're doing this a hard mode for ourselves. Um
because we're very decisive people, apparently,
yes. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
very
We're
polite
yeah, I
people.
think we're like maybe punishing ourselves for not being more decisive. So we, rather than try to build something in worlds that are familiar, we're going fully the opposite direction. And we are going to build something that is suitable for the game Absurdia, which some of you listeners slash watchers have probably are probably familiar with, and I would bet so far most are not. Um, it's relatively new. Came out to well, gosh, actually maybe as much as three
Yeah.
years ago now. Um, but it was written by Quinn Majeski, who some of you may know as the GM for Monster Hour, at least for the first two seasons of Monster Hour. Small spoiler. Um, and he uh, developed it based on sort of touchstones like um, Welcome to Night Vale or The Twilight Zone. And it's well, I will just
Yeah.
I'll let Quinn tell you. Oh, that sounds like I'm teeing up a special guest, which I'm not. Sorry. Um, let Quinn tell you
We'll
by
we'll
way of
quickly find.
reading something Quinn wrote. Less exciting. Sorry. Um.
If you want, I'll just put like a cutout of
Oh,
Quinn's face
perfect.
over you.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love that.
Yeah.
Um. Uh.
More work for me in post.
Excellent. All right. I'll try to hold very still so that I don't like show up on either side of Quinn. Um, all right. So the sort of book for Absurdia starts with this kind of place setting that I think is really helpful in establishing the significant challenge that is before us today.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read it out loud. Just it's a couple paragraphs. All right. A strange town. Absurdia takes place in a typical suburban town gone horribly awry, where every hallmark of normalcy has been warped by entropic chaos. Disappearances are ordinary, reappearances are terrifying. The weather report mostly follows the screaming fog. A non-Euclidean maze connects every alleyway. The library's empty books devour memories. The big box store is expanding aggressively. Plants and machines have developed sentience like the cast of Beauty and the Beast. Feral cars prowl the freeways while gangs of flora menace public parks. The PTA is a hive mind bent on world domination. The town council will impose order even if it kills them. Or more likely, you.
That
Why not leave? Simple. There's no escaping this place. Every road eventually leads back to town. The train tracks run into a cosmic ether. No one's tried the airport since the organ realignment fiasco. Ooh. Did someone tear a hole in reality? Are you in hell? Limbo? Trapped in a corrupted life simulator? No one knows for sure. All you know is that you're stuck here. Strangers in a strange town.
feels very much like most small towns I've been to. So
There's some,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. Trapped in a corrupted life simulator. I think Bruce Springsteen wrote a few songs about that.
um, I think then that does seem like a great place well, to work from. Maybe to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, we can pick like an area or
I think
a
that makes
street
sense.
or something, a little part of the town, a park, something we can
Yes,
flesh
yes.
out a little bit more.
Yeah. And I've seen this done sort of at kind of at three different scales, I guess. On the biggest level, season two of Monster Hour did it as this is the whole world that they're in. Um, an entire town, not, again, sort of by definition, not really things beyond the town, at least on this kind of plane. Um, so that's kind of the biggest scale. And then uh Shrimp and Crits, which is another TTRPG podcast, played it with the setting as and sort of an abandoned mm, decommissioned slash post-apocalyptic amusement park.
Yeah,
So sort of middle scale. Um, and then when we played it on $2 Creature Feature, we played it as a single building,
yeah.
a single apartment building. So it does work for all three of those. And yeah, I think choosing one building or neighborhood feature or something is probably wise. Um, I want to pick something that I'm trying to think of something that I've not seen previously done in Absurdia in terms of like the type of location.
Pick something you love from a town you know, maybe.
Ooh. Oh,
And
oh.
then we
Oh, I
can
have a
ruin
good one. I have a
it.
good one. A
Yeah,
theater.
okay. Ah, yes. That's always a great
I'll,
choice. And
I'll,
it
I'll
gathers
always
lots of
primed for
people,
drama.
yeah, together to experience drama and comedy and tragedy and anything in between. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
is this theatre part of a larger town or is it freestanding like
I'm not sure
the
we
apartment
know.
block?
I'm not sure we know.
No. So,
Because there are people here who are, I mean, they're filling roles,
yeah.
but I'm not sure it's clear if those are their jobs or that's or if they're playing roles in a play.
Ah, yeah. Ooh.
If they're playing, hmm, I mean, either way that implies a world outside of the theater, but it implies
But
different things about this world, maybe.
is there a world outside the theatre for them? Have they ever experienced it, or do they just have a vague idea of there's a world beyond, but that's not important now? This is the theatre.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're engaged in sort of the ultimate method acting here. If they have been outside, I think it's been a long time. I think as far as they're concerned, at least, they have been basically living in this theater for
So
as long as they can consciously remember.
is everyone in there playing a role of some kind, or at least think they're playing a role of some kind?
Good question.
Are they all part of the production? Is basically what I'm getting at. Because that leads to the first weird thing that we can create. If they're all part of the production, these people, they're about who's the audience?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and are they yeah, I think they're all I think they're all cast and crew. Yeah. Um Yeah, I mean, they maybe they've just been in rehearsal for a really, really long time. And it
Yeah.
seems like, I don't know.
So, is there
I,
no audience then, or is there the sense of an audience they can't see or experience?
I think they're expecting an audience.
It's like the sense of they're gonna arrive at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be ready for the audience every night.
Yeah. Cool.
And thus far, the audience hasn't question mark arrived.
Uh,
But that's just because they're in final dress rehearsals. The audience will be here
yeah.
tomorrow night.
Uh,
Yeah. Once we get it right, the
yeah.
audience will arrive.
Okay. Cool. So there's like a sense of ramping up then as well
Yeah.
as everything
Yeah.
sort of building towards this fever pitch of we're actually going to perform.
Yeah. What if it's almost like sort of a Groundhog Day kind of situation where they just, what is it? Almost, yeah. Where it's like they have to get it perfect. As far as
Yeah.
they know, they have to like get the rehearsal perfect for opening
Leading up to
night.
the play.
Yeah. But so they keep but they're not sure what it is they're doing wrong. Like why we've done it all right. Like why is the audience not here yet? Let's
Yeah.
try something else. Maybe we and it's been a long time, I think. So they've had to try like, everything. Maybe during this song, the lighting on the leading lady should be orange, not blue.
Yeah.
And maybe we got the casting wrong. Maybe it goes all the way up to like, we gotta change out who the leading man is.
Yeah. I like it. So would you say then that like there's still a sense of excitement leading up to the play, or have do they feel this wearing down of having changed things and kept changing
Good
things and
question.
still not getting that perfect rehearsal that they need to continue?
Um, that's a good question. So in Absurdia, I'm just scrolling through here. There are mechanics um for uh do, 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 do. Yeah, there's a mechanic called Essence, which is based on sort of like what's like the core sort of quality of your playbook, your like
Yeah.
character type. And what if in this everybody's and you sort of gain and lose
Yeah.
essence. Well, I guess you mostly lose
Mostly lose.
mostly you lose it. Um and then when you're out of essence, you drop out of the scene
Yeah.
temporarily, which is problematic in play. Um
Yeah.
and come back with a fracture, which is like something essentially you've suffered psychological damage as a result of the weirdness of the situation. Um uh so maybe kind of that like, are people still excited about it is are people still committed to it? Are people still in character? Maybe that is kind of governed by the individual.
Their individuals.
Sorry, there's a very loud truck happening outside. I'm not sure what's going on out there. Um,
You're
yeah,
fine
governed by its essence.
on the mic, so
Okay, good.
it's not picking it up.
Good, good, good.
Yeah,
All kinds of exciting things that happen in the neighborhood.
I live in rural West Flanders, so meh.
Yeah. Yes, yes. I live in a mid-size city neighborhood, 1 block from the highway. So
Uh, yeah, probably a little more excitement than me. Uh,
yes, yes, there is.
so, if people are shifting about in essence, and it's sort of um, like shunting the play forwards a little bit, but changing it as they go, and people are experiencing these fractures. Do you think there was an initial fracture in the first dress rehearsal that pushed them
Oh,
into this? Or,
maybe.
and if
I
so,
mean, maybe
feel
that,
free to come
yeah.
up with something that might have caused the initial shift into this situation.
Oh, interesting. The
Although
director
notice
left.
how, oh,
The
cool,
director
yeah.
left. At least
And
that's what they think happened anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, and they're all just sort of trying to muddle through and get through
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. There are Absurdia has 4 sort of factions built into it. I think it might be fun to think about how each of those factions manifest in
Yeah.
this world. Um, so the factions are bureaucracy, community, underbelly, and entropy.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like bureaucracy could be filled out by like the stagehands and things trying to push what they think the director's
Oh.
original
Uh-huh.
idea for the play
Oh,
was, and
interesting.
they're
Yeah.
trying to run everything like clockwork, like it was meant to be, because that's their idea of how they're gonna finish this dress rehearsal finally in a perfect manner. Then maybe the director will come back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting because my I love that.
Uh,
My
yeah.
my initial thought was almost the opposite, which was that the bureaucracy was like the producer.
Yeah.
But I like the I really like that idea of the stagehands because like they yeah have to move like clockwork, get it perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um so here okay, so you're saying are the on stage actors community or entropy?
I mean, you could really pick either. Like, in a way, I like the idea of entropy because they're swapping out roles because,
hmm
like, they're not
what
sure
if
everyone is where they need to be every
what
time
what
they
if it
swap it out.
sorry, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
go for it.
Yeah, no, that just what if it's both? What if it's like a
Twisted.
large production?
Yeah.
Yeah, with like the leads and the chorus. and the chorus sort of forms this like unified community,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the chaos is kind of coming from the the leads,
Yeah.
like main
Like the
character, like body of main character actors who are keep
yeah.
like swapping around.
Think that's like an ego thing on their part as well. They're like, no, no,
Probably
see,
so.
clearly it didn't work last time. I should give that role a go. This
Yeah.
time it'll work out. And that's pushing them further and further away from the original
Yes.
design
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
think that's
further
great.
into entropy.
Yes. Yeah. And then that leaves Underbelly.
Yeah.
Um, which could be like this, like
Sound and lights people.
the sound,
Like the
the
technicians.
sound lights
Yeah.
people, or the folks who actually sort of run the theater itself, like take the
Yeah.
tickets, mop the floors,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
print the playbills.
They've been stuck in here as long, but can't actively affect the play in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and they're not actors who come in and
Yeah.
out. They work
They're
for the
people that
theater.
work there.
They've been
Yeah.
here forever.
It's like an endless shift for them.
Oh God. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I
Cool.
like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have our faction set up as well. Um, how long would you say you've been in the world of TTRPGs or active in
Um,
similar things? Where did it sort of come from initially? We all have an
yeah.
origin story.
Yeah. Um, yeah, my history is shorter than a lot of people's. I started playing in um oh gosh, hang on, let me do the math on this. Is it it's 2000, either 2018 or 2019. Um, is that right? Yeah, I think it was like spring 2019.
Yeah.
I'm working backwards from COVID. You understand?
Yeah.
Um,
The standardized counting method of it.
yeah, the new BC
Yeah.
and mm, I'm not sure what we're in now.
Presumably
The
AC.
yeah, yeah, after
Yeah,
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 yeah, a d we're still sort of DP during pandemic is the thing.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Eventually we'll get to AD. Um or AC. Um
yeah. I hope AC because AD sounds grim for us.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah. Um yeah, and I it's kind of funny that I had not ever been in the TTRPG space before. Um I've always had I've sort of always had social groups and hobbies and things that were adjacent. Um, I lots of friends always who are theater kids. Um, I was a
Yeah,
huge, was, still am a big fantasy book kid slash adult. Um, Plenty of friends who do LARPing and Renaissance fairs and so on and so forth. Um, but I just never quite fallen into it. Um, and then a few years ago, a good friend locally, who had been a D&D player for, you know, lots of his life, um, wanted to try DMing and got some folks together. Um, and I was not part of that group initially. And then they had a couple people drop out, and he was looking for more people to join so they could keep playing.
Yeah.
Um, and I went to a session to just kind of, it was, we were doing it in person at that point. Um, Went to a session to just kind of sit in because I was unsure. Um, and I just was
Yeah.
immediately hooked on it. Um, and I built my first character who was a great old one warlock named Fen, um, who I had
Well,
no
you
idea what I was doing.
went straight for yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, starting with like a nice simple fighter, absolutely not. Um, and Yeah, so I played her for several months until the end of the campaign, and then I built my second probably my second ever character, who was a dragonborn vengeance paladin named Sir Lou, who
Oh,
I played for like 4 years. We just finished that campaign. Well, I don't know, probably like 9 months ago now. Um, yeah, so playing, and I, lots of other D&D in the meantime. Um, but then it really, like a lot of other people, I really got much more into TTRPGs
yeah.
broadly, once COVID hit. Um, and I
When
was
we
it
all
was
suddenly had very free evenings.
very, yes, very free evenings. I, absolutely primed to watch lots of actual play shows and develop extensive parasocial relationships. Um,
I mean,
um,
so far everything you've said, I think, is one of those Venn diagrams. It's just a circle for every
yeah. Oh yeah.
all of
Uh,
us listening or watching.
yeah. Yes, I think extremely common experience. Um, but yeah, like I had started, I guess I had started watching some actual play video, just like stuff on YouTube to learn how to D&D better. Because again, I was like playing catch up with the rest of the group
Yeah.
to learn. Um, and then I happened to be um one of the campaigns I was watching, which I still watch, is the Drakenheim campaign run by the Dungeon Dudes, who also do like great sort of um advice and analysis type videos. And as a one-off, they played a one shot of Monster of the Week. And I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And then I stumbled across some other Monster of the Week content, and from there got into watching people play it live on Twitch on a channel called Q Times, which is now called Alt Haven, it is now the channel that
That's familiar.
that $2 creature, yep, it's the channel that $2 creature feature is now a part of. Um but yeah, I got to know a couple of folks who were fellow fans of that, and then one of them who you know is Mr. Ray was writing their own game, and I ended up helping play test that. Um and then a little while after that, Ray and another friend reached out and said, "Hey, we're actually thinking of putting together a Monster of the Week podcast. Do you want to be on it?" Um, And at first I said no. I don't know how to do that actually, because I'd never not only I'd never been on a podcast, and I also never actually played Monster of the Week at that point. Um, but I got a couple good pep talks from friends, and then finally said, I guess if you think I'm gonna be good at it, I will give it a try.
I mean,
Um,
they were
and
right.
yeah, I mean, the good instincts, I guess. Yeah, and so my season one character, Dor Bolin was the first the first character I ever built in Monster of the Week, and the pilot episode of Too Loud Creature Feature is the first time I ever played Monster of the Week. And if you listen to it, you can tell because we all almost died.
Yeah.
Not from the monsters, but from very nearly killing each other accidentally. Um, so, but we learned. It was a little bit of a learning curve. We learned, and it's now that what would have that been? Fall. That was fall of 2020. So now whatever that is, 4.5 years later.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, on season three, and we've just had a very oh, mm, I can't
Oh.
tell you that.
I mean,
There will
it's
be
not
in
uncommon for people to come on this program and tell me spoilers. I will
yes,
claim every time someone is about to say something spoilery.
yes. Yeah, this is the let's see, we just put out I think episode 18 of True Love Creature Feature season 3. Uh yeah, look out for the next couple episodes, folks. Speaking of world building, they're big,
Oh, cool.
real big for world building. So
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's episode 19 or 20 that's the big one, but it's coming up.
Oh, well, there you go. Now I know what I'm doing at work on
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays every other
Mm-hmm.
week. The same
Yes.
thing I do at work on Tuesdays every other week.
Yeah, same
But
thing you do
more
now.
attentively. Yeah. Yeah. So I suppose we should get back to constructing, deconstructing, and
Yeah.
warping our theatre beyond the
Yeah.
ability of any human being to
Mm-hmm.
comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
The
What do you
structure
think?
itself, yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
what
same thoughts.
is it
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. I mean, I think we only see the inside of it.
Yeah,
So I don't know what it looks like on the outside.
outside is sort of the vague impression that you have in your head when you think of the word theatre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everyone has a completely different theatre they have in mind.
Yes. Um, mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
just the
it's
word
kind of all
theatre.
of them. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and inside, I mean,
Yeah.
lots of dark corners. Um, I think like
Where do those dark corners lead? Are they
that's what
corners or do
that's,
they?
that's what I'm wondering is
Mm,
like are they actually corners, or are they it looks like it's going to be a dark corner, and then it maybe just kind of keeps going, and
yeah.
eventually you run into the janitor who shoos you back out into where the lights are.
I I like that idea. Uh yeah, of just like every corner is a dark corner, but if you go into the dark corner, it just keeps going on.
Yeah. Yeah, is it
And
kind of is it
janitor,
kind of all the same dark corner somehow? Like all the dark
probably
corners just like go
to
kind of
this
go
one place.
Yeah.
The janitor, are they outside of all of these
Oh,
factions and things? Are
like
they just
the
sort of,
the janitor can't do their job until the show is over.
yeah,
So the janitor is like waiting.
like get back to the show? Go.
Yeah. Oh, the janitor might be getting angrier and angrier.
As we all know from
Mm.
horror movies, that ends well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, never piss off the staff. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think the janitor mm, I think the janitor can be a threat in some ways, but also kind of holding things together in other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And I mean so there would be like different kind of zones to a theater,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Like there's the stage itself.
Yeah. I feel like in this case, the stage itself is bigger than it would actually need to be. Like, in
Hmm.
comparison to where the people sit, the stage is the stage.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
central to everything
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, because they don't I mean they don't know how well they it's not the opening night yet. They don't know how
No,
big the audience is going to be.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That might be a
yeah,
thing as
maybe
well.
like the longer they're there, the longer they're working on the play, it almost feels like the stage is expanding.
Yeah. And in those changes of essence and things, and as they get closer or shift further away, like sometimes you look out and it looks like 100-seat theater.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you look out and there's like rows upon rows of seats going up with,
Mm-hmm.
but you can never know until you run the play
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Ostensibly the ticket taker is in charge of that, but
But yeah, they might have no control over it either.
yeah. Yeah. There's got to be an orchestra pit for sure.
Yeah. Is there an orchestra there as well?
Oh, good question.
Or does music come out of the orchestra pit?
I don't
But
know.
one more
Yeah,
of these
there's
sort of dark spaces that you can't really.
ooh, yeah. There definitely is music. There
Yeah.
is music, but maybe you can't. Maybe it's too dark to see in the orchestra
Yeah.
pit. Yeah. Hmm.
So do they know there are people there playing the music, or do
I
they
don't
have
know.
like a sense of they know better to peer into the orchestra pit,
Ooh.
but the music comes out. The music they need comes from the pit.
Yeah. Ooh. Maybe that's how they know it's time to get ready to go on stage. Is when the music starts, you have to be on stage. You got to be ready to go. Or else
Yeah.
something.
Maybe the music peters out in the end as well. And that's how they know they have to restart the dress rehearsal. It wasn't the finish
Mm,
they were looking for.
maybe.
Hmm. I have an idea for like
Hmm.
the gangways and planks up above where the lighting
Ooh,
is.
uh-huh.
To me, that feels like that could be like a labyrinth that
Mhm.
stretches on far further than the stage, and you have to be one of the technicians to be able to navigate it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect like underbelly
Yeah.
like zone.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to try to climb up there without a guide.
No.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-uh.
If they get caught doing anything untoward that might upset the play, I mean, they can always escape up there and you won't be able to chase them down.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Sort of a maze or a tangle of gangplanks and walkways, all are stacked above each other or beneath each other or to the side, depending on where you're standing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like each faction kind of
Like, yeah, their
has
little
had like
zone.
has a zone.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like the front of the like sort of front and center of the stage is the entropy,
yeah,
the lead actors,
yeah.
and then kind of like the background and the wings maybe are the community of the chorus.
Does the entropy of the actors affect the stage in any way?
Ooh. Yeah, probably. Like the curtains and the hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting because it would be the like lighting people and the
Yeah,
like whoever controls the curtains and so on who would be actually controlling it. Huh. But maybe the
they, yeah,
hmm
they might
ma-
have a job to do and they control the opening and closing, but they can't control what the stage is or what it looks like.
ooh, yeah, yeah, like this like the stage almost responds to the entropy like one of the actors decides, you know what? No. I'm gonna turn this piece into like a soliloquy.
Yeah.
And like they step out front and suddenly the spotlight is on them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fun.
Cool. So they each have sort of their own little zones. But it does
Yeah.
feel like the four factions and the four zones need to intermesh and work together to
Mm-hmm.
create this play.
Mm-hmm.
So they all sort of bleed into each other as well, presumably.
Yeah. 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 They all kind of rely on each other in one way or
Mm.
another. Um,
What's the
they all
community doing up on the stage? What's their
Mm.
bit then?
A whole lot of singing. Um, yeah. I think maybe they're trying to like keep up like the tempo and the vibe
Mm.
of the play almost.
Then they have to follow the pit because the pit seems to be dictating the
Mm-hmm.
music. So
Yeah,
they have to
true.
be able to, whether
Yeah,
they interact with it, does their music also help create the tempo?
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, if they get out of sync with the
Mm.
pit, that's a problem. Yeah, that's
But
stressful for everybody.
can they affect the pit in any way? I like how we're just referring to it as the pit now. Some
Hmm.
kind of hellish music comes forth
Yeah.
from it,
Oh my God.
but
Yeah.
let's not investigate too closely.
Yes. Um, oh, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they can almost I wonder if they if yeah, I wonder if like sometimes the pit and the community are in sync and sometimes they're out of sync and like we're almost like getting into sort of something mechanical here. I'm trying to think if there's
Yeah.
like a mechanic in Absurdia that would be appropriate to this. Um,
Isn't, I mean, you could
hmm,
always just
yeah.
slap
I
something
don't know.
together.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, Quinn, let me know.
Yeah.
Um, cause I really want to run something in this theater.
So, after Monster of the Week, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, let me know
Hmm.
if you do.
Yeah, yeah, I will. Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, I'm just scrolling through the book here to see if there's other things that
Mm.
let's see. Okay, there's an around town section. I think in the playbooks. Let me see what that is.
I imagine there must be like rules for how everyone interacts and intermeshes with each other.
Yeah, yeah, there are yeah, like and th this Absurdia is a sort of but more or less a powered by the apocalypse based
Mm.
system. So it does um do. I think it has like yeah, there we go. Okay, okay. And here it's called bonds. Um so between each of the characters, you ask these questions.
All
Um
right. Yeah.
yeah.
So you
Um
create the bonds between your monster hunters in Monster
yes.
Week at the start of. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Um yeah, and each
Yeah.
character is sort of um more affiliated with some factions and less
Yeah.
affiliated with other factions. Um,
You could
so
also
for
like. Sorry. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
You could scale that up as well, like bonds for the community as well, or the different
Mm,
groups, the different
yeah.
factions themselves, and have the bonds, how they interact with each other.
Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, yeah, and I realized too I didn't say like what the stats are in this game, but I think they help they help give you a sense of um uh
The
oh, where did they
direction we
go?
should be going
Yes.
in.
Yes. I'm actually just trying to find this.
So, what kind of
Okay.
stories would you say? Yeah, I'm making you multitask now. Would you say you like to tell, or what
Ooh.
stories are your favorites that have really stuck with you, or you like to experience? I mean, you can throw in books and things in there as well if you want.
Good question. Yeah. Yeah. I guess those maybe are different answers. I mean, I was saying earlier that I'm really a definitely a fantasy book person. And there very much is a uh a sort of story that always gets me there, which is um the like hidden world just behind our world
Yeah.
kind of story.
Yeah, I know
Um yeah, not I know I know there's been horrible news coming out about him recently,
Yeah.
but a lot of Neil Gaiman's um work is right in that kind of sweet spot for me. Um and books like I'm also a sucker for like um people uncovering uh discovering the sort of hidden abilities that they have. Um I mean, t taking that to the, you know, as far from the fantasy realm as possible, like the first half of the Bourne Identity, where
All
like
right. Yeah.
someone's coming to kill him in some
Yeah.
fancy way, and he discovers, oh, I can jump out of a
Hmm.
six-story building and figure out how to hang from a windowsill, or, you know, um,
Flash
uh,
Mondays.
yeah, yeah, um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, or and actually, speaking of bureaucracy, there's a wonderful book. I am blanking on the author right now. Um, uh, very, very fun book called oh my gosh, now I can't. It's less helpful if I can remember neither the author's name nor the name of the
Oh,
book. So let me just find
don't worry.
that.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Yes. There we go. Okay. Uh, The Rook by Daniel
All
O'Malley,
right.
which
Yeah.
also has
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
sequel called Stiletto, and I think it may even have a third book now. Um, but it starts. It's not really a spoiler. If I recall, it's literally the first page. It starts with a woman wakes up from unconsciousness, um, in a field in a park, and there is a circle of dead bodies around her. Um, and she gradually discovers that she is a essentially a secret agent in a secret sort of supernatural agency. Um, that actually has maybe I'll have to ask maybe I'll ask Quinn if he's ever read The Rook, because now that I think there are a couple of there's at least one playbook that like that
Plays
playbook
into
is
that.
a character in the book. But it's also not
Cool.
a completely,
Yeah.
it's not a completely unique concept. So,
No. Yeah.
um, but that kind of story I'm totally a sucker for. Um,
I get that.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, in terms of what I like to play, I mean, this is kind of basic to a lot of TTRPGs, but I like to be the hero.
Yeah.
I like to play stories where I get to be the hero. And I played a paladin for 4.5 years because you get to be strong and heal people and protect people and be brave and charismatic, and all of us have times in our lives that we don't necessarily feel like we can do those as well as we want to. Um, so being able to play that out is really nice. Although I also play lots of characters who are um small traumatized women and girls with like either magic or or like shotguns.
Uh, those are two very similar things, though.
They can be.
Magic
They
or
can be.
shotguns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Both
And that's it.
provide a unique solution to most situations.
Yes. Yeah, blast it. You
Yeah.
know, blast the thing one way or another.
Mm.
Um,
Well, one day we'll also do a podcast where we explore what the characters we play mean for what we're
yeah,
trying to
yeah, that's yeah, that's a
work
rabbit
through
hole.
in our life. Yeah. Uh, but yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes,
that's cool.
yes.
And are there sort of themes or stories that you would like to personally tell that you'd like to have
Mm.
other players run through that
Ooh.
you want to bring into the world?
I yeah, I mean, I have been kind of working off and on. Oh gosh, do I want to say this? Because
You
it's kind of
do.
a kind of it's well, so it's kind of a spoiler for something that I might run on
Oh,
$2 creature feature at some point. Yes, 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 yeah.
little
I've been
gem.
working off and on a Monster of the Week adaptation of a story, an old sort of folk. I don't, is it even a folk tale? A sort of a folk tale. A story that just absolutely scared the pants off me when I was a kid. Um, one of those stories
The best
that
ones.
is, yes,
Or at least
yes,
the ones you remember.
yeah, yeah.
Forever.
Uh, one of those stories that it's, it's like it's from a book of like scary stories for kids, or I think the version um yeah, there was a version that I had from a book, and there was another version that I think was like a tape of I'm old. Um a tape that we would
Yeah,
like listen
we,
to in the car sometimes
there's
with
only
like
two of us here, and we both know what tapes are, don't we?
yes. Yeah, yeah, we can listen to tapes while we drink our whiskey and down
Yeah.
our antacids. Um
Uh, yeah.
um yeah, so I'm working on an adaptation of that, which will be in some ways sort of a cabin, not say a cabin in the woods story.
Yeah.
Um, not like the movie The Cabin in the Woods though. Um, and there will be a monster, and there will
Yeah.
be as with any good TTRPG, room for a couple ways that it could be solved, perhaps.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, eager to turn some childhood trauma into a fun game where I get to partially control what happens.
That's the GM side of
Yeah,
what am I doing with this character and what does it mean to me?
yes, yes.
Here are the things that scared me in the past. You play with them.
Yeah, yeah. Now I get to be the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I am definitely gonna press you for specifics when we stop recording though, because
absolutely.
like
I will absolutely tell you. Yeah,
I
just
love a whole tale in
if
one
I'm running
thing,
it for
and
the rest of, and honestly, they might. I mean, once we get to a certain point, the people, at least some of the people playing it will know what it is, but you know,
yeah.
secret for now.
So a question I've been wondering, what is the staff up to though? Because like the ticketing
Ooh,
office and stuff,
yeah. Mm.
everyone seems to
Yeah,
have their zones, and the staff,
right.
like
Mm.
from what we've been explaining so far, they're mostly, they're in the background, but people seem to have ignored them quite a bit.
Mm. Yeah, what are they getting up to? Hmm. Hmm.
Their
Yeah.
lowest shift ever.
Yeah. And I mean, we've established the janitor
Yeah.
and there's gotta
I
be
quite
like a
like,
ticket
yeah.
taker.
I like the idea though that the janitor is loose from the staff, like just not connected to
Yeah,
the
okay.
staff
Okay.
in a
Yeah.
way, because the janitor seems
The
like
janitor
they're
might
might know a
be
bit
sort of
more
a
than, yeah, sort of a
mm,
less than human or
yeah.
more than human probably
Yeah.
uh
Yeah. Yeah.
creature of some sort or being that has some extra knowledge of what's going on and is trying to hold the entire place together before it fractures entirely.
Yeah. Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll say the more mundane staff, that's not quite what I mean,
Yeah.
but um, huh. Yeah. I mean, so okay, so we said the step they're the bureaucracy, right? Or
The
did we say they're
the like the stage hands and things, the bureaucracy, because they're trying to keep everything on track exactly as it's written down in their notes,
right?
exactly as the director intended, as far as they know.
Yes. Hmm.
The staff seems kind of like loose from all of that, but they are there,
Yeah.
and they're not the community or entropy or bureaucracy or the underbelly. Or were
Huh.
they part of the underbelly?
Well, I think we said hmm. I think we said the like lighting and
Lighting.
rigging
Yeah.
folks are underbelly.
Yeah.
And the like yeah, the like stage hands and maybe even like the assistant director or
Director.
the
Yeah. That.
is there somebody is
There's
there
got to be
like a
someone with the
cue
strings
card
or the
person
mic. Yeah. Yeah.
to tries to keep it that person would for
Yeah.
sure be bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Um yeah. But yeah, I mean maybe the staff, maybe the theater the like people who run the theater, maybe all of them are a little bit
Mm.
outside of things.
So, do you think then they're also like at least partially connected to outside the theater as well? They have like more
Oh,
of a shifting dynamic where
interesting.
they're not
Maybe.
entirely bound to this location, or at
Yeah,
least
I
part of them.
mean,
Not necessarily physically, but they might be mentally also beyond the theater as much as they're inside it. Just to add a layer of
yeah, no, that's possible. That's
of
totally possible. Um, yeah, I mean, hmm, if there's going to be an audience, there has to be someone telling them that the play is happening.
yeah.
So, so there's a marketer. Um, I'm sort of showing my hand a little. Yeah, yeah. I guess maybe this is a three-part future conversation. What does what do the characters that we play tell us about ourselves? And then
Yeah.
also what do the worlds that we build tell us about
Yeah.
ourselves? And I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
one of the things
That's a
for me is I can't imagine a world that doesn't have marketing.
yeah, yeah. No, no, that's
Um,
being married to a marketeer, right?
and
I know that.
yeah, it's like yeah, no, I spend too
I
much
know
of
what you mean.
yes. I spend too much of my day either marketing to other people, because it
Yeah.
is a big part of my day job, or being marketed to.
Yeah.
Um, that's just it's a forever permanent state. Um, yeah, so maybe there is somebody who's like trying to get the audience there
Mm.
somehow. Are there ushers? Ooh, ushers are creepy.
Yeah.
There must be ushers.
There are definitely ushers. I feel like yeah, that's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that
and
I it
when
does
you're
it does it
walking around behind the stages and stuff and in the other parts of the theater because I've been in a lot of theaters for work and they have the largest amount of creepy tunnels and little alleys and
mm-hmm.
winding staircases that you're like, why did they put that in anyway? And
Mm-hmm.
various other. I'm pretty sure anyone who strays from those areas and goes into those sort of back areas will encounter ushers whilst they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like the
Are they
whole
doing the same kind of thing as the janitor, like pushing people back towards the stage, or are
yeah,
they
I think
up
they're
to
trying they're trying
something?
they're trying to get the audience seated.
Yeah,
Their job is to get the audience seated and keep them quiet. And in absence of like a general public audience, and anyone who's acting like an unruly audience member is gonna have
trying
to
to
deal with the
find the
ushers.
audience and
Yeah.
herd them.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There you go.
I think
Yeah,
so.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Um,
for having run this on hard mode, we're definitely like we've built a theater.
oh yeah. Yeah, I like want to run this now. 100%. Um,
There you go. That was a promise made on air. For me, the 18th of January 2020.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I get hmm. Yeah, I'll have to work on that. Um, oh
I mean,
gosh.
the cast and crew and everyone is stuck there anyway, so there's no sell by date on this idea. It
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah,
just keep running the dress rehearsal until someone shows up.
they're just there.
Yeah. Are there any
Um,
more bits of the theatre you'd like to examine in more detail? Well,
hmm.
how does the marketing part work then? What is the marketeer doing? Or what does it look
That's a
like?
good question. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean
Leave
it
this to
seems
your
it's
expertise.
I mean it seems like they may be the only one at this point, like sort of the only point of contact to the outside,
Yeah.
and also like the way that an audience will eventually get there. Um, but I mean, like clearly something's not going totally right there because there is no audience.
Yeah.
Um, and but also if an audience showed up now, it would be disastrous because clearly the play isn't
There
ready.
is no play.
Um, yeah, I think at anytime they make a major anytime the entropy faction makes a major change, like changing who the leading lady is,
Yeah.
they have to deal with marketing because the posters are already printed. Um, we have to completely redo the playbills now. Um, Yeah. Hmm.
just to make it seem a bit weird and peculiar. I like the idea of the marketing office just being filled with hundreds of telephones, but like the old ones. Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
computer screens for like the where someone is trying to Photoshop to get the new.
Yeah, like a real sort of mix of different eras
Yeah,
of technology. Like the old like the very early telephones with like like the horn on a rack that you pick up.
yeah.
And then like yeah, computers.
Clearly using computers as well to make the posters or things like
Uh-huh.
that and change
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And like definitely like some pieces of printing press at least. Um hmm Yeah, all different eras.
Yeah, they
It
can
all
print
kind
it
of looks
from,
broken,
yeah,
but it's also working.
working. Yeah, like
Kind
they can print it from their computer, but then they have to go and put like a typeset on the printing press and it comes
Yeah.
out perfect.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a fax machine, but somehow it seems to run off the telephone line of
yeah,
the old telephone, which is also a party line. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think they're probably telephones. Really, they're telephones a few places within the theater,
yeah,
but it doesn't seem like you can call. It's hard to tell if you're calling out because it's all on the
yeah.
party line. So like
And
there are
if
people there when you call.
if entropy changes up who's the lead player or changes one of the roles, one of the telephones near to the stage starts ringing. That's how they
Ooh.
know they have to go to marketing and explain
Yeah.
what's going.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, it interrupts the song and community gets
Yeah,
upset and yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, it's a pretty
Huh.
cool theater. I'm not saying I would personally want to get go and watch a play,
Uh-uh. Well,
but they seem to be.
so yeah.
But I would also be too intrigued to not like want to peek in
hmm
at
hmm
this point.
Yeah, it's like one of those
Yeah.
experiential slash experimental productions where it's like I I'm gonna go, but also I'm concerned about like what am I going to be expected to do? Um,
Yeah, that's always the worst.
yeah.
If if you're slightly worried the whole time that someone is suddenly going to ask you a question or make you do something.
Yeah. I know people like I know there are some productions like that that are highly sought after and
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything
I know.
worse. I just let me go and sit in silence, please.
Preferably in the darkness so you can't see me. I
Yeah.
just watch you.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm. I like that at no point have we said what this play actually is.
no, I
I
think
think
that
that's correct.
remains obscure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're working on the play. That's the
Yeah.
important part.
Yeah.
What the
They've
play
been working on the play
is.
for a long time. The play
Yeah.
has been a lot of things.
Yeah. The script for the play exists. So you could probably find out what the play is, but
Ooh. Yeah.
do you want to find?
Ooh.
Is
Yeah. Yeah.
anyone
I mean, they
actively trying to work out what the play is?
right. I mean, the script is probably I
But
mean, when they
this,
make changes,
yeah,
they have to get it reprinted again in the in marketing's office.
I suppose I like the idea of it being like in TV scripts and stuff where you get different colored drafts, or you used to. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how they do it now, but because it's digital, I presume. But like they just have an array of all different colored pieces of paper, and they're all slotted underneath one another in, yeah, in a
Yeah.
mishmash that no one can really work out what is it, or
Yeah.
what was the original and what is this now. And
Yeah.
every time there's a change, a new color comes out and they put that in with the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are lots of, I mean, like the director had their own shorthand, but nobody else can read it.
Yeah.
So they're like constantly trying to decipher like what did they think we're supposed to do now? Mm-hmm. I like it. I
Yep.
like it. This is a good theater, by which I mean a
Yeah.
terrifying theater.
It's a horrendous place to get trapped in for most of eternity by the sound of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would naturally gravitate towards hanging out with the janitor, probably. So,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no. My sympathies lie with the janitor at the very least.
yeah. Okay. Well, I think we did a well. I will say, I think you mainly did an awesome job with that, and I just asked a lot of questions,
That's
leading
critical.
questions, but
That's
like,
critical. Yes. Yeah,
hey,
no, I
I
think that was
reckon you
I think
come
this
up
was a
with
good
an answer.
collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very fun. Um, yeah. So, if people want to see more of you in the future or hear more of you, presumably, because you're on
Mhm.
podcasts mostly, as far as I know,
Yes. Yes. Primary. Yes. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
can they find you?
Yeah. So the best place is on $2 Creature Feature, which is a podcast. Again, yeah, Monster Week podcast with the Alt Haven Network. Um, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Podbean and everywhere else that I know of.
Wherever you
As
find
far
your podcasts.
Yes, yes, yes. Wherever you find your podcasts, you will most likely find us. Um, and again, it's yeah, if you just like the little dollar symbol, the numeral two, and then creature feature. Um, we are also on a number of social media platforms. We are now on BlueSky, which is our newest and most active. That has recently replaced Twitter for us, and lots of other people.
Aim.
Mhm. So we're very active there, as is a lot of the cast. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us all of those places as $2 creature, so the numeral two, the word dollar, and then the word feature, all one word. And we're also very active on Discord, which I can't give you an easy way to search for us there because of how Discord works.
Yeah.
But if you visit our Blue Sky profile, there is a link there. Um, yeah, and you'll also we all also do a lot of collaboration with other folks. I think the place you can find a lot of us right now actually is get as guests on Zero RPG, who's another Monster of the Week friend of ours. She streams on Twitch. As we speak, I am gonna be on a stream with her tomorrow night, but that will be long
Ooh.
past by the time you hear this, I think. But
Sorry.
yeah, it's all right. I'll be on there again. I'm sure this will be my I think fourth time. So, Unless I screw it up terribly, I will be back. And Megan and Ray are also working on scheduling something for her for sometime next month. So, um, perhaps by the time you hear this, that will still be active. So you can find us there too. That's R SERO RPG. Um, and you can find us on the Actual Place Discord server and Aldhaven Discord server and the Podcast Nexus Discord server. All right, I think that's the exhaustive list.
Absolutely no reason not to listen to $2 Creature Feature at this point. Like, there's no way you can't find... You're the opposite of the
There's
theater.
no excuse.
Everyone is
There's
inside the
absolutely no excuse.
audience.
Yes, yes. Oh, and I will give one more. I will give one more listening tip. Which is that each of our three seasons is a separate campaign. So you do not, there are Easter eggs and so on, but you don't need to like start at episode one and listen straight through. In fact, we actually recommend that you start with season two or season three because our audio quality is significantly better. Season one starts out kind of rough. It does get better, but it's not necessarily our best foot forward. So do your ears a solid and start with two or three.
Okay, awesome. I can recommend all three seasons. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
having followed $2 for quite well,
Yes.
since
Yeah. So, yeah,
2020 probably.
yeah, probably so. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So before we go, I'll ask one last difficult question.
Oh, okay.
Whether you
Difficult question.
have any hopes or aspirations for the future that you'd like to share,
God, do I have
PvP,
oh
RPG,
that
or otherwise.
oh, okay.
No, it can be
Say,
anything.
do
I
yeah.
mean,
I say, do I have any hopes for the future? Is this
hey,
just
I
to kind
just
of
want
date this for folks?
I want to make
The U.S. inauguration is
yeah.
3 days from now, so I have fewer hopes from the for the future in
I'm
general
trying to
than myself
inspire
risk.
hope.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I think aspirations wise, I I do want to get comfortable running games. Um so I'm at this point what I have run is a few several sessions of D&D for my cousin's family and her kids, which was extremely fun and remarkably bloodthirsty. Um
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've sort of facilitated a few like one shots of GM-less stuff with various groups, which was very fun. Um but yeah, I'm gonna be running some Monster of the Week for an offline group in a couple of days, and we'll see how that goes. And I have aspirations to run some for the $2 creature feature folks, and um yeah, it's a whole other
Yeah.
skill set. Um and I'd like to kind of start building those muscles. So I think
Yeah.
that's my TTRPG aspiration.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Mhm,
Also, my
mhm.
channel is always available.
Oh, thank you. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, I will say thank you for coming on and
Oh,
for building such a wonderfully weird and horrifying theater out of
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, creating some space to build my setting for my first
Yeah.
Absurdia game, apparently.
Right. There you go. I mean, I aim to help everyone as far
Exactly.
as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that worked out well for you. I'm pretty sure the episode I did with Sam Richardson, he basically
Hmm.
just said like, I'll have to use this in,
Yep.
in a
Yep.
future game.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you should keep a running list
yeah,
of all the times that your world building turns into an actual game. I think that's a good like brag
yeah,
feat right there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just facilitating the space.
Well, you're creating the space and asking questions, and you contributed substantively to this theater, I think.
Uh,
So
all
you
the
get
horrifying
I
parts.
think you get co-credit. Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, and I hope to hear from you again soon sometime. And I look
Absolutely.
forward to listening to $2 in the future and seeing any games you might decide to run at any point on any channels. So yeah,
Yes, we'll see what becomes of it. So, yeah, thanks again.
yeah. Thank you, and for everyone at home, as usual, stay safe, stay gaming. Bye.
Bye.